number of goodwill messages on this occasion. Let me, at this point, invite, for the purpose of giving a goodwill message, the UN Under-Secretary General for Global Communications, Melissa Fleming. A message is set. It's a video message, so if
Excellencies, Honorable Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, my colleague, the Assistant Director General of UNESCO, senior government officials, members of the diplomatic community, colleagues from the United Nations, dear partners, civil society, media, academia, and private sector representatives, distinguished guests. I congratulate the federal government of Nigeria and the UNESCO General Conference on the establishment of this Category 2 Center, the International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Nigeria. I recall that in 2022, when Nigeria hosted the Media and Information Literacy Week in Abuja, we discussed mechanisms of ensuring that our work on information integrity is grounded in research, facts, and knowledge. It was then that Nigeria pledged to support the establishment of this institute, and it is exciting to see that promise fulfilled. The UN's first ever Global Risk Report, launched in July 2025, confirmed what many of us have long observed. Mis and disinformation represent a top global vulnerability, one that has been chronically underestimated and is already unfolding around us. No single stakeholder can address these challenges alone. They transcend sectors and borders. Information integrity cuts across virtually every aspect of international and national affairs, from democratic governance and human rights to public health, climate action, and conflict prevention. When information spaces erode, so does people's ability to exercise their rights and pursue peace, prosperity, and a livable planet. This is why the Secretary General launched the UN Global Principles for Information Integrity in 2024. These global principles offer a holistic, multi-stakeholder framework for a healthier information ecosystem built around 5 core commitments. 1, societal trust and resilience. 2, healthy incentives. 3, public empowerment, including digital literacy. 4, independent, free, and pluralistic media. And 5, transparency and research. At their core is an unwavering commitment to human rights. The global principles envision an information ecosystem that delivers choice, freedom, privacy, and safety for all. One in which people everywhere can express themselves freely, make informed decisions, and exercise greater control over the media they consume, their online experiences, and how personal data is used. The work of this institute will serve to advance those principles. The UN Global Principles also recognize that coalitions are essential. The Global Initiative for Information Integrity on Climate Change, which is led by the UN, UNESCO, and the government of Brazil, achieved historic results. Information integrity was formally embedded in the COP30 outcome. The Multirao decision and the Belém Declaration, initially signed by more than 20 countries, established shared international commitments to address climate disinformation. At a time when scientific evidence is being actively contested and public trust eroded, a coalition of partners working together has made meaningful progress. In that same spirit, today we begin building a global center of excellence in research, monitoring, capacity building, and knowledge sharing on all aspects of information integrity. The United Nations will walk this journey with you. Our world urgently needs an information ecosystem it can trust, one that promotes peace, sustainable development, and human rights. I thank the government of Nigeria for investing in this center and all the partners who worked alongside our UNESCO colleagues to reach this moment. Let the important work begin.
That was a message from the UN Under-Secretary General for Global Communications, Melissa Fleming. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, ad interim, Elsie Atifua, to deliver her message. Thank you.
Your Excellency, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume. Let me recognize the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, and my very own dear sister, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Swaiba. And I do appreciate also and welcome very warmly our Assistant Director General of UNESCO, Ms. Maria Gabriel, my colleagues who are here, John Paul, and with that, permit me to stand on existing protocols that have been ably established by the moderator. Good afternoon to you all. It's a good day, so I want some energy here. Good afternoon to you all. It is a profound honor to join you today on behalf of the United Nations family as we witness a global fest taking root here in Abuja, Nigeria. And as we say here in Nigeria, we dey carry fest. And so this is fest for us. The launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute as a UNESCO Category 2 institute is far more than an institutional milestone. It is a strategic investment in Nigeria's future, Africa's future, and indeed the future of trust in our digital age. It is a powerful testament to the leadership of the federal government of Nigeria in recognizing that media and information literacy is no longer optional. It is foundational to peace, it is foundational to democracy, it is foundational to competitiveness, and it is foundational to sustainable development. Now, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Let me say a few things here. First of all, it matters because truth matters, especially for democracy. As Nigeria moves towards another important electoral cycle, the quality of information in our public space will shape the quality of our democracy. When a mother hesitates to vaccinate her child because of a viral rumor, when a manipulated video fractures trust within a community, or when disinformation weakens confidence in public institutions, we are reminded that misinformation is not merely a digital problem, it is a development challenge. Deepfakes, coordinated disinformation, and manipulated narratives do not only distort facts, they divide communities, weaken trust, and threaten peaceful democratic participation. Therefore, this institute gives Nigeria and the region a powerful platform to strengthen civic resilience, protect informed citizenship, and ensure that democracy is built on facts and not fear. Secondly, it matters because trust drives development, and development requires financing. Investment follows confidence. Financing follows credibility. When citizens trust institutions, when communities trust information, and when investors trust governance systems, development accelerates. But while misinformation dominates, transaction costs rise, government risks deepens, and investor confidence weakens. An institute like this helps build that confidence. It strengthens evidence-based policymaking, trusted public communication, and institutional credibility, creating conditions for stronger partnerships, better financing, and sustainable economic growth. Thirdly, why does it matter? It matters because innovation, jobs, and competitiveness depend on informed minds. Nigeria is the heartbeat of Africa's digital economy, young, connected, entrepreneurial, and innovative. But innovation without integrity becomes vulnerability. Digital transformation without literacy creates exclusion instead of opportunity. The Institute will therefore serve as a global observatory, a center of excellence, and a think tank for research, policy leadership, capacity development, and South-South cooperation, helping Nigeria produce not only consumers of technology, but creators, ethical leaders, and globally competitive problem solvers. This means stronger education systems, safer digital spaces, better digital skills, and new pathways for jobs, enterprise growth, and knowledge-driven competitiveness. Fourth, it matters because inclusion must be intentional. When women and girls, young people, persons with disabilities, and vulnerable communities must not be left behind in the digital future. This Institute's vision of a media and informed literate world is one where access, participation, and protection are inclusive and sustainable for all. This is how we ensure that digital transformation becomes a force for justice, not exclusion. Your Excellency, the United Nations family sees this institute as an essential pillar of our shared development agenda. Its mission to strengthen research and cooperation that bolster media and information literacy for all for a just, peaceful, and sustainable future is deeply aligned with our collective work across governance, education, peace building, gender equality, and innovation. And this morning, we were meeting with the ADG exactly to discuss how the UN as a collective can support and partner with the Institute. And therefore, by supporting this Institute, we are investing in perhaps the most important infrastructure of all, which is the human mind. We are investing in citizens who can question reasonably, engage ethically, participate meaningfully, and lead confidently. We are investing in a generation that can protect truth, defend peace, and drive prosperity. To the government of Nigeria, particularly the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, thank you for your vision and leadership, and a special thank you to you, Honorable Minister. To UNESCO and our colleagues, thank you for your partnership and for helping bridge this important global, to build this important global bridge. And to all our partners who are gathered here today, let us recognize that by launching this institute, Nigeria is not only establishing an institute, it is helping shape a new global architecture of trust. As Nigeria leads Africa into the digital future, may we do so with the minds equipped to discern, hearts committed to peace, and institutions strong enough to inspire confidence. This is the foundation upon which peace is built, democracy is protected, investment is mobilized, and development becomes sustainable. Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity to say something on behalf of the United Nations family.
Thank you very much. The UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, ad infinitum. Thank you, Your Excellencies. The Institute as has been stated, is housed in the National Open University of Nigeria, now. Professor Udoma O. Udoma is the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria. And I do call on him at this moment to deliver a brief message. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate Professor Udoma O. Udoma. Thank you.
His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, here represented by His Excellency Senator George Akume, the Secretary of the Government of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, and my own Minister, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Shuaib said Ahmed. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. For my colleagues from NOUN, I am standing, I'm not leaning because the platform is big enough to take me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with profound honor and a deep sense of institutional pride that I convey goodwill on behalf of the National Open University of Nigeria on this auspicious occasion of the official launch and unveiling of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute here in Abuja. This landmark event is not merely ceremonial, it is civilizational in implication. The establishment of IMILI, recognized as the first UNESCO Category 2 Institute on Media and Information Literacy, represents a decisive and forward-looking intervention in one of the most urgent challenges of our time, the cultivation of critically informed, ethically grounded, and intellectually empowered citizens in an increasingly complex information ecosystem. In an age defined by the exponential proliferation of data, the ubiquity of digital platforms, and the troubling rise of disinformation and misinformation, media and information literacy is no longer optional. It is foundational. It is the very architecture upon which democratic resilience, social cohesion, and sustainable development must be constructed. To be literate today is not merely to know how to read and write, but to interrogate, discern, validate, responsibly utilize information. It is within this context that the collaboration between the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, UNESCO, the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, and of course the National Open University of Nigeria assumes profound significance. The partnership reflects a shared commitment to building a knowledge system, a knowledge society that is not only informed by enlightenment, not only connected, but critically conscious. For us at NOUN, this initiative resonates deeply with our mandate as Nigeria's leading open and distance learning institution. Our pedagogical philosophy has always been anchored on access, flexibility, inclusivity, and innovation. We believe that education must transcend physical boundaries and reach the learner wherever they may be. In this regard, media and information literacy is a natural extension of our mission in NOUN. It equips learners not just to access knowledge, but to navigate it wisely and critically. The hosting of day 2 of this historic event at our headquarters is both symbolic and strategic. It affirms National Open University of Nigeria's growing role as a national and a continental hub for digital learning, capacity building, and knowledge dissemination. It also signals our readiness to contribute meaningfully to the development, research, and propagation of media and information literacy across Africa and globally. Permit me to note that the vision embodied in Emily aligns seamlessly with our broader institutional direction. As we advance into a future increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence, digital communication, and global interconnectivity, the ability to critically engage information will define not only academic success, but societal survival. Emily, therefore, is not just an institute. It is a beacon, a safeguard, and indeed a transformative platform for intellectual empowerment. There is an African proverb which reminds us that wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it alone. The success of this institute will depend on sustained collaboration between governments, universities, international organizations, media practitioners, and indeed the citizenry. It is only through collective effort that we can nurture a generation capable of distinguishing truth from falsehood, knowledge from noise, and wisdom from mere information. Another timeless African insight says that the ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people. By extension, the renewal of a nation begins in the minds of the people. Emily represents such a renewal, a deliberate effort to strengthen the intellectual foundation upon which societies are built. As Vice Chancellor of National University of Nigeria, I reaffirm our unwavering commitment to this noble enterprise. We stand prepared to contribute our academic expertise, technological infrastructure, and pedagogical reach to ensure that the vision of Emily is not only realized, but sustained with excellence. In closing, I commend the Federal Ministry of Information and Orientation, and National Orientation, UNESCO, and all collaborating partners for their foresight and dedication. What is being launched today is not just an institution, but a legacy, one that will illuminate minds, empower citizens, and safeguard the integrity of our shared information space. There is thus no doubt that the unveiling of Emily is a moment of pride, not only for Nigeria, but for Africa and the global community. May Emily flourish as a beacon of knowledge, a guardian of truth, and a catalyst for enlightened societies across Nigeria, Africa, and the world. Thank you, and I wish Emily well.
Thank you very much. Professor Uduma, Vice Chancellor, National Open University of Nigeria. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just a few more of these messages. Now let me call on the representative of the Unitwin Milid, Professor Olunifesi Suraj. Professor Suraj, representative of Unitwin Milid. Thank you so very much. May we appreciate him. I would also crave your indulgence to go straight to the message. Do not worry too much about the protocols. Those have been established. Thank you.
That is why I don't have a note to read from. Thank you so much. I stand on existing protocol, and I want to key into the renewed hope of Mr. President by thanking the Nigerian government for this establishment, Emily. Emily has renewed our hope in the fight against disinformation and misinformation. I bring you greetings and goodwill messages from the Unitwin Milid University Network. The Unitwin University Milid Network is a network of universities and scholars, professors from over 130 countries, of which University of Lagos, which I am from, is a member. And our aim is clear: to fight disinformation and produce resilience and courage, both in cyber and online, against disinformation. And the network is led by 3 universities presently: University of Lagos, of which I'm representing, University of Sao Paulo in Brazil, and Autonomous Barcelona University in Spain. So 3 countries, 3 universities lead this network among 130 universities and 130 countries in the whole world. And our job is clear. We do research, we have human capacity building, and then we stand as a think tank for knowledge production, for policy formulation and guidelines. I don't want to bore this audience with everything we have done, but I want to assure the leadership of Emily that we'll bring our expertise, we'll bring our knowledge, we'll bring the network to make sure that Emily function and be able to fulfill all its mandates. Once again, I want to thank the Nigerian government for this good work. Thank UNESCO. And let me assure the director of Emily that we are actually behind her, and they will make sure that the purpose for which Emily is established does not fail. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so very much. We do appreciate you keeping it short. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite a daughter of Nigeria, in whom proverbially Nigeria is exceedingly pleased. Join me as I invite Nigeria's permanent delegate to UNESCO, Dr. Haju Sani, OON, for her message. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cyril. I'm going to be very brief, but I cannot avoid following the protocol. It's not every time I'm in Nigeria, so if there is anything I enjoy, it's the protocol. I've missed that so much. His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by His Excellency, the Secretary to the Federal Government, my dear brother, Senator George Akume, the Minister of Information, Honorable Mohammed Idris Malagi, who actually, I don't know how to describe him here. Without him, wouldn't have been here. My sister, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Minister of Information, my dear sister that I came along with her from Paris, Ms. Maria Gabriel, our new Assistant Director General, the UN representative, my dear sister who has spoken very eloquently and we are able to understand the whole concept of why we are here. Then we have John Paul, who is also heading our UNESCO office here, the professor who is the Vice Chancellor of the Open University. It's nice to see you. The new director of the IMILI I'm really very happy to meet you. Then please, maybe I will use the same language to say, allow me to start on the already existing protocol, even though I broke it. It is with great honor and satisfaction that I'm part of the official launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute here in Abuja. This landmark event is not only a celebration of institutional achievement, but as a testament to Nigerian leadership in advancing global knowledge, critical thinking, and responsible information ecosystem. Today's milestone is a culmination of deliberation, strategic, and collaborative journey. The permanent delegation of Nigeria to UNESCO has played a pivotal role in championing this Emily right from inception in 2022 Global Week, which was held in Abuja, and the adoption of the Abuja Declaration, which has led Nigeria to adopt it, and also for the permanent delegation of Nigeria to UNESCO to champion it by sponsoring a bill at the UNESCO Executive Board meeting in 2021. The series which kick-started this process, and in every executive board, Nigerian delegation is there to lobby among all the 194 member states to be able to see that this bill has passed through. It passed through series and series of deliberations, of argument, of misunderstanding and acceptance until at the end. Just like we saw in the presentation and what the Honorable Minister was able to explain the journey, how it started and where we found ourselves here, then it was adopted. Adoption was continued until in 2025 last year at Samarkand when we got the final approval of this institute to be established, the first of its kind in the world here in Abuja, Nigeria. At this juncture, I wish to express profound gratitude to UNESCO for its unwavering support, technical guidance, partnership throughout this process. I equally want to stop here and pause to commend the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation in person of Mohammed Idris Malahi. When he took over, I will tell you that is when the plane took off. We took off from there and we started flying until where we landed now. And I also want to tell you, I cannot remember the many times I sent notice for the Honorable Minister to come to Paris to hold meeting with the UNESCO Secretariat, especially when we got critical opposition from other member states. And we had to sit down with the ADG in charge of communication to iron it out, and to also to strategically be able to present again and again to be able to present our stand regarding the establishment of Emily in Nigeria. And I would say there was a time he came briefly to London. The moment I told him, he said, okay, I'll take the next Eurostar, you be me. And that was the saving ground. I'm happy I'm saying it here to the hearing of anybody. My brother, Honorable Minister, without you, we couldn't have achieved this. You have done so much that we are able to be where we are. We saw personal commitment, we saw passion, we saw somebody who really wants to really make a difference in the life of media and information. I thank you very much. I equally want to remember my minister, because most of the things I was doing there in UNESCO, I always get permission from the Ministry of the Minister of Education. My mother ministry always contact. If I don't get the Honorable Minister, I keep bothering my sister. She's the only one I can easily reach. And anytime she would respond to my mail, I would say, this is where we are. Please, I need your support. So the Minister of Education, I want to thank the Honorable Minister. I want to thank Minister of State, Professor Suwaiba. The last time she came to Paris, we had to meet with the Director General. He was new then, just about a few weeks old as a new DG, was able to talk to him and seriously was able to bring to the table critical issues, not to do with education alone, but other sectors that has to do with UNESCO. I thank you all for this support. I also wish to express special appreciation to His Excellency, because each time the Honorable Minister of Information comes, he He gave us the encouragement that Mr. President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has given him the mandate, has encouraged him, and said we must push on. He's there to support us. So we thank His Excellency for his commitment that underscores the importance of knowledge-driven development and Nigerians' role as a leader in global intellectual and policy innovation. I thank you. And I will also at this, I promise to be short. I promise to say that my ADG, Maria, who is here, especially professional in the area of media, I'm happy she's able to come. She will convey the message of our dear Director General, and to say that UNESCO is there to collaborate, partner with Nigeria in every aspect. And we are really pushing it. We are there, representing Nigeria. We continue to do our best. As we celebrate today, let us remain committed to sustaining the vision, strengthening partnership, ensuring that the Institute becomes a center of excellence that will inspire generations to come. I want to, at this point, to say that I'm proud to be in Nigeria. And I'm proud to say that this is a great achievement for Nigeria, and I'm happy it's happening during our time. I thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Haju Sani, OON, Nigeria's permanent representative to UNESCO. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We have one who will be speaking briefly on behalf of a former permanent secretary in what then was the Ministry of Information and Culture, Mrs. Lydia Jafia Emenai. She's been represented here by Mr. Mohammed Manga. I would like to call on him to briefly deliver her message at this occasion. Thank you. Mr. Mohammed Manga. Thank you, please.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me stand by the existing protocols as I read the brief goodwill message from the former Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Finance, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI. Protocols. It is with profound gratitude to God and immense national pride that I join you today to celebrate a historic milestone, the launch of the UNESCO International Media and Information Literacy Institute here in Abuja. Let me begin by warmly congratulating the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the leadership of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. As I salute the Federal Minister of Information and National Orientation, under my brother, the Honorable Minister Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi, FNIPR, for the vision and tenacity that birthed this institute. I must also acknowledge with deep respect Mr. Chinasa Nnam Ogodo, who as Permanent Secretary steadfastly steered the administrative machinery that delivered Emily to this point. Your leadership of the bureaucracy matters, and history will record it. At the same time, I warmly welcome and congratulate Dr. Binyerem Chibolu Okari, the new permanent secretary of the ministry. We pray for wisdom and strength as you take up this baton. Emily is now in your trusted hands to nurture into a global standard. In an age where a single falsehood can travel faster than truth, and where allegations and algorithms shape minds, the establishment of Emily is not just timely, it is prophetic. Nigeria has chosen to light a candle rather than cause the darkness of misinformation. As a former permanent secretary of the ministry, responsible for keeping the project alive, I am proud to see this vision come to reality and to life in the wake of new administration amidst funding constraints. Let me say with emphasis that today is deeply personal. I recall the meetings, the memos, the moments we feared it might stall. Today we are here. Emily stands as proof that institutions outlive administration and that Nigeria keeps her word to the world. To UNESCO, I say thank you for trusting Nigeria with global mandate. To Mr. Ifeanyi Okereke, your resilience and quiet sacrifice have paid off. You remind us that nation building is not noise, it is duty. I am confident that Emily will become a continental corner of excellence, training journalists, empowering teachers, equipping our teeming youth to think critically, engage responsibly, and defend the truth. From Abuja, its impact will ripple across Africa and beyond. May this institute raise a generation that reads before it reports, a generation that verifies before it vilifies, a generation that uses information to build, not to break. Congratulations, Nigeria. Congratulations, Africa. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Signed, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Finance, retired. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That message sent in by a former permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Information, Mrs. Lydia Jafia. Thank you. Your Excellencies, we thought at this point we might just introduce a bit, just a little bit of Nigeria's rich cultural tradition. And so I give to you the National Troupe of Nigeria in this brief performance, just 3 minutes. Thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the national troupe of Nigeria. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to invite the Assistant Director General of Communication and Information, UNESCO, Ms. Maria Gabriel, to now come forward and present her address. Thank you so very much.
His Excellency, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, humbly represented by His Excellency, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Mawagi, Honorable Minister of State of Education, Professor Subeiba, Honorable Resident Coordinator of United Nations, Mrs. Elsie Atafua, Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Oduma Oduma, dear Ambassador and Permanent Delegate of Nigeria to UNESCO, Dr. Hajusani, Secretary General of the Nigerian National Commission for UNESCO, Dr. Alagunju Idowu, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, Director of the International Media Information Literacy Institute under the auspices of UNESCO, dear Professor Sharon Otomos, dear Jean-Paul and the entire team of UNESCO in Nigeria, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the private sector, partners, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a true honor and privilege for me to be in Nigeria for my first official visit to Africa in my capacity as Assistant Director General for Communication and Information at UNESCO. On behalf of the Director General of UNESCO, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his leadership, vision, and commitment to the establishment of a world-class international media and information literacy institute in Nigeria. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Mawagi, and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for their strong partnership and unwavering support in advancing media and information literacy agenda. Nigeria's leadership in this field is both timely and transformative, and sets a powerful example for Africa and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather at a moment unlike any other in history. Humanity has never had greater access to information, and yet never before has it been so difficult to know what to trust. Every day, billions of people in Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world reach for their phones in search of answers. In seconds, they are exposed to a flood of content, some reliable, some misleading, and some deliberately false. And in that constant flow of information, real-world decisions are shaped about health, education, safety, elections, and the future of our societies. So the question before us is simple but profound. How do we ensure that truth still guides our decision-making in a world of overwhelming information? This is why today matters. The launch of the International Media Information Literacy Institute, it's not just the creation of a new institution. It is a shared commitment to ensure that our people in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond are not only connected to information, but are also equipped to understand it, question it, and use it wisely. Because media information literacy is not a technical skill alone. It is a civic skill, a life skill, and increasingly a survival skill for our democracies. Yet the gap remains significant. With 171 countries recognize the importance of media information literacy, only 17 have fully integrated it into national policies and strategies. At the same time, a UNESCO global survey shows that 62% of digital content surveyed admit they do not constantly verify information before sharing it. These figures are not just statistics. They are a call to action. And we all think spontaneously of our young people. because young people are at the heart of this transformation. They are the most exposed to digital risks, but they are also the most powerful drivers of change. With the right skills, they can become defenders of truth, innovation, and social cohesion. We must also address a critical reality: persistent inequality in access to information and digital spaces. Women and girls continue to face disproportionate levels of online harassment and exclusion, limiting their voices and participation. And that is why media information literacy must be inclusive by design, ensuring no one is left behind. And this is where Emily comes in. This is where Nigeria's leadership becomes so important. By hosting this institute, Nigeria is sending a powerful message. Africa is not only responding to the digital transformation, it is shaping it. With its dynamic population, strong institutions, and vibrant media landscape, Nigeria is uniquely positioned to lead this agenda. In the months ahead, the Institute will roll out concrete programs, training educators, supporting policymakers, developing curricula, and equipping young people with practical skills. It will track progress, scale what works, and ensure real impact across Nigeria, across Africa, and globally. At UNESCO, we believe that media information literacy must become a universal right. Because when people are equipped with these skills, they are not just informed, they are empowered. Empowered to think critically, empowered to resist manipulation, and empowered to participate fully in democratic life. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes are high, but so is our collective capacity to respond. If we succeed, we'll do more than strengthen information ecosystem. We'll strengthen trust, democracy, and social cohesion. Allow me to close by once again thanking the Federal Republic of Nigeria for its leadership. With your more than 220 million citizens and one of the world's most dynamic youth populations, the choices made here will resonate far beyond this country. They will influence the future of Africa. I also wish to express deep appreciation to the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, the UNESCO Abuja office, the Nigerian National Commission for UNESCO, and Nigeria's permanent delegation to UNESCO. Your commitment, your professionalism have been instrumental in bringing Emily to life as a UNESCO Category 2 center, rooted in Nigeria, connected to the world, and designed for lasting impact. Let this institute be more than an institution. Let it be a catalyst for knowledge, for cooperation, and for a world where truth still matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Maria Gabriel, Assistant Director General of Communication and Information, UNESCO. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the signing of the MOU of implementation, and the symbolic signing will be done by Nigeria, UNESCO, and Emily, and Nigeria, with the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation initialing. For UNESCO, Ms. Maria Gabriel, and for Emily, Dr. Sharon Omotosho. The signing will take place right here on the podium. So may I now invite, for the purposes of signing the MOU of implementation, Dr. Sharon Omotosho, Ms. Maria Gabriel, and the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. Thank you so very much, Your Excellencies. The symbolic signing of the MOU of implementation has just taken place. Thank you. And let's put our hands together to applaud that symbolic gesture, the signing of the MOU of implementation. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the signing of the MOU of implementation, let me now invite to present a brief message of goodwill and solidarity the Minister of State for Education, Nigeria's Minister of State for Education, Professor Suweiba, to come forward and give a brief message. Let's appreciate her as she comes to the microphone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It seems the host of UNESCO is missing from this important event. Initially, I wanted after it's over, and then I will query the organizers for forgetting to allow the host of UNESCO to say a few words. Anyway, the Minister of Information said, no, you have to say something. Thank you very much. Let me start by recognizing His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by our father here, the Secretary to the State Government, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation of Nigeria, Senator George Akume. Thank you for always supporting us. My brother, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Honorable Muhammad Idris, representative of the Head of Service of the Federation, my sister, the UN Resident Representative, Elsie Atafo. I always say this, she has all the energy, all the passion. I'm sure when you listen to her, you will attest to that. The permanent secretaries here present, the Assistant Director General of UNESCO, our guest here, thank you for all the support. Nigerian Permanent Delegate to UNESCO, my sister, Hajo Sani, former Minister of Women Affairs, and also a very good permanent delegate of UNESCO. Thank you for all your good work. Head of UNESCO Abuja office, Mr. Jim Paul Njomi, I don't always pronounce your name correctly. Thank you for being here. The VC of National University, National Open University. Now, thank you for this and congratulations because it's really an important milestone. Directors here present, gentlemen of the press, good afternoon all. It is with great pleasure and strong sense of optimism that I extend a goodwill message on the occasion of the official launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institution, EMILI, UNESCO Category 2 institution based here in Nigeria, in Abuja. I warmly commend the organizers and partners for this visionary initiative, which comes at a critical time in our global and national journey towards building informed, inclusive, and resilient societies. The theme of this launch, empowering knowledge societies through media and information literacy in the digital age, is both timely and highly relevant. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, access to information is no longer the primary challenge. Rather, the ability to critically evaluate, responsibly use, and effectively create information has become essential. Media and information literacy is therefore a foundational skill for citizens in the 21st century. In Nigeria, as many parts of the world, the digital revolution has brought immense opportunities for learning, innovation, and connectivity. However, it has also introduces challenges such as information, disinformation, digital exclusion, and the ethical use of information. Addressing these challenges requires deliberate investment in education systems that equip learners with the competences to navigate the information ecosystem safely and responsibly. The Federal Ministry of Education recognizes the strategic importance of media and information literacy in achieving quality education and sustainable development. We are committed to integrating digital and information literacy into our curricula, strengthening teacher capacity, and promoting critical thinking and responsible digital citizenship among learners across all levels. The establishment of EMILI is a significant step toward advancing this objective. It will serve as a hub of research, training, innovation, and collaboration, bringing together educators, policymakers, media professionals, and development partners to promote best practices in media and information literacy. I am confident that the Institute will play a vital role in shaping informed citizens who can contribute meaningfully to democratic governance, social cohesion, and economic growth. At this juncture, permit me to recognize the role of UNESCO for the critical role they played in making today a reality. I urge all stakeholders to support this initiative and to work collaboratively in harnessing the full potential of media and information literacy for national and global development. Together, we can build knowledge societies that are empowered, inclusive, and resilient in the face of evolving digital realities. On this note, I congratulate the organizers on this landmark achievement and wish the International Media and Information Literacy Institute great success in its mission. Thank God and may God, thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Said Ahmed. Thank you. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just before the President's address, let me just quickly acquaint you with what would happen in the next couple of seconds, under a minute really. Immediately after the presidential address, the UNESCO Emily logo will be unveiled. The President's representative will do that, and he will be flanked by the ministers, of course, by all the dignitaries who are seated in front. When that time comes, he'll unveil it. And shortly after all of that as well, there would be a brief presentation to the UNESCO DG before the photographs. So just to keep you abreast of what will happen in the next couple of minutes. So now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point invite His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being represented here by His Excellency Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, to deliver the presidential address. Thank you.
Please be seated. Members of the National Assembly, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Laji Mohammed Idris, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Ahmed, Permanent Secretaries, our partners, particularly the United Nations, ably represented by Dr. A.C. Tafwa, the UNESCO, ably represented by Maria Kibra, other partners, members of the diplomatic corps, Ambassador to UNESCO, Her Excellency Haji Sani, the Vice Chancellor, National Open University, the Emily Boss, Dr. Omotosho, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand here in representative capacity, representing Mr. President, who is involved in other equally important national commitments. So permit me to proceed with his statements. It is with pride, gratitude, and a strong sense of purpose that I stand before you today to formally launch the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, IMILI, here in Abuja. This is a historic moment, not only for Nigeria and Africa, but for the global community. Today, we open the first UNESCO Category 2 Institute for Media and Information Literacy anywhere in the world at a time when the need for it has never been greater. This achievement is the result of deliberate effort and sustained commitment. The journey began in October 2022, when Nigeria hosted the 10th Global Media and Information Literacy Week and made a clear pledge to establish this institute. Today, we have fulfilled that promise. I commend the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Ambassador to UNESCO, Dr. Haji Sani, members of the National Assembly, and the heads of our broadcast institutions for their dedication. Their efforts culminated in November 2025, when all 194 UNESCO member states unanimously endorsed IMILI at the 43rd General Conference in Samarkand. I also thank the leadership of UNESCO for their partnership and confidence in Nigeria. We're living in a time of unprecedented access to information, but also unprecedented disorder. Every day, vast amounts of content circulate across digital platforms. While this has expanded access to knowledge and amplified voices, it has also created challenges. Misinformation spreads rapidly. Disinformation is used to divide communities and weaken institutions. Hate speech fuels conflict. The line between fact and falsehood is increasingly blurred, often deliberately. These are global challenges that affect every society. This is why Millie is not optional. It is essential. Media and information literacy equips citizens to access, evaluate, and use information responsibly. It strengthens critical thinking and supports informed participation in public life. Yet, despite its importance, global adoption remains limited. UNESCO research shows that only a small number of countries have comprehensive national media policies. EMILI is designed to change this. The Institute will serve as a global hub for research, capacity building, and policy support. It will work with educators, journalists, policymakers, and civil societies to strengthen media literacy across societies. It will also promote dialogue and knowledge sharing across borders. Nigeria is not just hosting this institute, we are committed to its success. From the moment it directed its operationalization, the federal government has taken concrete steps. Funding has been provided. Institutional support has been secured at the National Open University of Nigeria, here in Abuja. Legal and operational frameworks have been finalized in collaboration with UNESCO. We are also committed to ensuring strong leadership and professional excellence in the management of the Institute. This investment reflects our broader vision under the Renewed Hope agenda to build a society where citizens are informed, empowered, and able to participate meaningfully in national development. We will work with stakeholders across government, academia, and civil society to integrate media and information literacy into our educational system. From primary school to higher education, we must equip our young people with the ability to think critically and engage responsibly with information. To African partners and the global community, this institute is open to you. We invite collaboration, participation, and shared ownership. Nigeria believes strongly that progress is linked to the progress of others. To Nigerians, this is a moment of pride. Out of all UNESCO member states, Nigeria has chosen to host this global institution because of our demonstrated commitment and capacity. I therefore encourage all Nigerians, students, educators, media professionals, and community leaders to embrace media literacy. In today's world, the ability to question, verify, and think critically is essential. To our young people in particular, you have a central role to play. The future of the information space depends on your ability to distinguish truth from falsehood. EMILI is a resource for you. Use it well and wisely. As we launch EMILI today, we're making a clear statement that Nigeria is ready to lead in addressing one of the defining challenges of our time, the risks posed by misinformation and disinformation are real, but with strong institutions, global partnerships, and sustained commitment, we can address them. Let this institute stand as a beacon of truth, critical thinking, and responsible communication. It is my honor to formally declare the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, MILI, officially launched. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, Your Excellency will now proceed to unveil the logo, and he will be flanked by the Minister, the UNESCO DG, and as well as the VIPs who are right there.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the official launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute MILI logo. This is the logo of the MILI and the UNESCO. Launched today. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. There will be a quick photo shoot. I'll be a quick photo shoot just in front here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellencies. You may be seated. Thank you. And thank you, Your Excellencies. You may be seated. Let me now, for the purpose of delivering the vote of thanks, invite the Permanent Secretary, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Dr. Binyarem Ukairi, to now thank you all for coming in here. The Permanent Secretary, thank you.
His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, ably represented by His Excellency, Senator George Akume, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, my own minister and boss,
Alhaji Mohammed Idris, the Honorable Minister of State for Ministry of Education, Professor Swaiba, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, ably represented by my colleague, Dr. Garba, the PAMSEC for Service Welfare Office, the DG of UNESCO, ably represented by the ADG, Maria, Permanent Secretary Delegate, Dr. Hajo, and the entire UN team, the Vice Chancellor of NOW, Professor Duma, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all very senior officers here present. Good afternoon. It is my singular honor to deliver this vote of thanks on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation at this historic launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, Abuja, which is a UNESCO Category 2 institute and the first of its kind globally in this sector. I wish to express the Ministry's profound appreciation to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented, for his visionary leadership and commitment to strengthening democratic values, national cohesion, and informed citizenship. This initiative reflects a clear determination to position Nigeria prominently in the global information and communication space. We are very grateful to His Excellency, the Secretary of the Federal Government of Nigeria, for your presence, sir, and for your continued support for national priorities and continued coordination of government efforts that make initiatives such as this very possible. Our sincere appreciation and thanks go to the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, FNI PR, whose clarity of vision, strategic direction, and strategic direction and commitment have been very instrumental in bringing this initiative to fruition. We also want to use this opportunity to thank all ministers here present, members of the Federal Executive Council, and to say that your collective engagement reinforces the importance of a coordinated approach to addressing challenges in information integrity, civic awareness, and digital literacy. I wish to warmly thank the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, ably represented, for her exemplary leadership and sustained efforts in strengthening the capacity, professionalism, and effectiveness of the civil service. I also want to acknowledge all permanent secretaries here present, heads of agencies, and senior government officials. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion and making it a huge success. The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation also appreciates extensively the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, for the great partnership, collaboration that has brought us to this point of our desired results. Our appreciation extends also to members of the diplomatic corps, development partners, international stakeholders, for your solidarity in advancing media and information literacy. I acknowledge also Nigerian Permanent Delegate to UNESCO, Dr. Hajo Sani, and the Secretary General of the NATCOM UNESCO, Dr. Olagunju Idowu, for all your support. I commend Mr. Ifeanyi Okereke, Director in the Ministry, and also Dr. Sunday Baba, as well as all officers whose commitment made this achievement very forward, for your very tenacious hard work and contributions. I also recognize the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Uduma O. Uduma, and the immediate past Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters, for their contributions. And to the Nigerian media, we say thank you for your continued partnership. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and to all who contributed to the success of today's event, we are deeply grateful. Thank you for your presence. We look forward to welcoming you to tomorrow's program at the National Open University, Jadi. God bless you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Dr. Binyarem Ukairi. And Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a conclusion this launch of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute here today. As we conclude, let's now rise for the anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.